I'm gonna start taking screenshots right now just so I can actually go back and do my homework. Let's jump into the ban and pick right now, all right?
Yep.
Let's see. Right
this
now,
time,
Dominator Esports is going to be on the blue and KAGENDRA is going to be on the red. Now, Dominator Esports, they have the opportunity. They will for sure start banning the things that they're either meta or the things that they've already played with.
Now, they start the banning phase with a Liang. Usually when you ban a Liang, you're looking to play things like the jungle assassins, the Jing, the Luna, even the Yangjin, for example here. So, pretty interesting stuff so far, and KAGENDRA answering with the Forged Maiden, Chicha, as their first ban.
Yeah, of course, they've already played that chat. They don't want to give it out. But as you mentioned, maybe what we're looking in here, Dominator Esports, is going to be something very mobile, something very core in the jungle, maybe something that's going to be flashy.
Thinking about the Luna here, we might see a Luna, we might see a Dolia Yangjin. These are potential picks here because so far, as we see towards the draft right now, Luna seems to be a priority for Dominator Esports, and it has been locked in. And a bit of a backstory, if I'm not mistaken, back into IKL Spring 2025 Grand Finals Game 7. It was Dominator Esports, TNX picking the Luna, and they lost against KAGENDRA. This might be a redemption match for TNX himself.
Redemption, I love that. There's so many. That is going to be a word that we're going to be using a lot during 2026. This is going to be the year for a lot of the redemption arcs for all of these clubs are going to start. A lot of these clubs, in here, Dominator and KAGENDRA are not the exception, are going to try to just erase the mistakes from the past and try to start making big steps forward. KAGENDRA chooses Diadia and Arlie just as a good combo to try to answer back to that Luna on the other side.
It's a very strong counter, I would say. Like, you have the Diadia, the spell to Bittersweet Farewell to lock you down on a spell and knock you back with the passive kick. And you have Arlie, which essentially can do two things. Spell 2 blocks your mark, Ultimate pushes you away when you are dashing towards the Arlie. So it's really down to the early game pressure that's going to be generated by the Tigris that's going to be on the hands of Feishu. You were talking about like, hey, maybe KAGENDRA don't put Feishu on things like a utility jungle or a non-tempo jungle. So they heard Isaac in towards the mic. It's like, okay, Isaac said this, let's implement that in game 2. Let's put Feishu on one of the most, I would say, strongest tempo junglers in HOK.
They gotta go with what Unc Isaac says, man. Like they know that there's some years in here. I'm telling you, man. I love when the players are just taking confidence, and then just the confidence of saying like, you know what, like trouble is here. Give me the spotlight. I'm going to solve the problems. I like that. That just tells you there's some kind of voice in there that tells you that I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. Give it to me. I love the pressure. What is pressure?
Pressure is something that either hits or miss. For some players, pressure elevates you into a stronger position. It forces growth. For some players, in a certain scenario, it succumbs you into tilt. It succumbs you into overextension, tunnel vision. So it's very speculative on how you see it. It's really down to the players and the coaching staff.
Love and war both require bravery.
Flowborn and Xiaoxiao over there for Dominator Esports. Xiaoxiao is a very good pick against that Arlie, right? That Xiaoxiao on the pick against the Arlie brings you the burst damage, putting a little pressure over there on the Parasola.
Well, that's definitely one thing, that we have the Steady Will, Flowborn Marksman, Breeze Heart, Xiaoxiao. These are really good counters in terms of team fights, in terms of late game, in towards the Arlie. Like KAGENDRA, you don't have a solid frontline in your draft. So who's it going to be? They pick by two. I think we never seen a single by two in the Clash lane in 2025. We see some jungle by twos, but this is the first by two of 2026 in GIS.
We have not seen Baiti. Baiti has been one of those OG Honor of Kings heroes that they're always around there. When they're meta, man. Like the way that they can actually use their ultimate in order to stun and immobilize a lot of enemies. It is a great initiation strategy. It's very beautiful the way that can also do a lot of sustain. It can regenerate as well. So Baiti is a very good pick. in this patch right now with that Bitey, is it gonna be one of those new picks that we will start seeing a lot more in 2026? And with this specific composition, can he actually find the moment to catch on that Luna? Would that Bitey be able to do that?
Yeah, I'm interested to see as well, like you mentioned, right? Can he catch? How does he catch? So Luna is going to be dashing around, flying around with those unlimited resets. So Baichi might be changing his target to the backline here. Those without mobility, like full-ball marksman, no solid mobility unless you react to your spell too. And the Breeze Heart Xiao Qiao, no solid mobility as well. So if he takes the flash on the Baichi, the ultimate weapon, maybe he out-flashes in towards the backline to get that surprise factor.
A lot of pressure that KAGENDRA is going to be pushing on Dominator Esports, so they can be more meticulous with their movements, their rotations, how they can always keep an eye over there on their flowborn marksman. It's going to put a lot of pressure on L, right? Because right now L is going to have to always keep an eye on what's going on with CC. So CC and L, they're going to be a pair right now. It's going to be a different game to what happened in the previous one, for sure.
Enemy minions
And
will
it's
arrive in
flipping
5
sides
seconds.
of the draft, right? Where in game 1, it's Dominator picking a hyper-aggressive early to mid-game draft. This time, it's KAGENDRA taking their draft, implementing on their own. And for Dominator, it's a very well-rounded one. You have strong tanks in the form of PUBG and L. You have strong late game in the form of Juro and CC on Xiao Qiao and also full-ball marksman. So that really flips the script. Like, who plays it better and who needs to prove themselves?
Look at the blue side right now. It's going to be Pei, the one that's going to try to do the invasion over there on that blue buff. Very dangerous movement over there, very early from the Pei.
I mean, you need to do whatever you can to stop this Luna from getting that comfortable level 4 mark right here. That's why you see the early game rotation coming in from the side of DMT. It's not to put the Xiao Qiao mid, it's to match whatever that KAGENDRA is looking to offer. Make sure that they sit themselves at top and mid lane, make that 3v3 happen, and make sure that TNX doesn't get invaded level 1.
Let's wait and see what's going to happen. TNX right now has already an advantage. He has more gold because that Face's Pei has been just making extra movements, not being able to just really focus on his jungle. That's going to give an advantage for TNX to make it to level 4 earlier.
They did spend some time trying to look for that invade here. So both junglers are sitting at level 3 on the 1 minute 30 mark. Heading towards the top side here. Both of these battle tanks in this patch, none of them can kill each other in lane. There's not going to be any sort of solo kills. I do think that they will need to get that priority on the push and see how they can affect the map with their movement.
At the beginning, the early stages of the game, it's going to be very difficult for them to kind of like lead that clash lane. But look at that, Solid takes in and he's going to find TNX in the mid lane. He made it to level 4 and then he used his ulti for a 2v1 in the mid lane. Hopefully we'll see those highlights really quickly in the replay.
That's why we say priority is important. We saw Solid get the early push, immediately roam towards the mid, ultimate flash on towards TNX, and mid lane once again, Feishi forcing the flash on towards Juro. TNX going in with the reset here, getting the kill on the Feishi. Feishi's dropping solo. Will he get burned down? He doesn't get burned down. And TNX has no ultimate here, but the cavalry is here. The sprightly enhancement bailing him out safely.
Wow, Facer going out of there with 1 HP, running away, still forcing TNX to lose his composure. He saw the Bitey coming in and that gave him a little bit of PTSD as well.
Oh, that's just scary here. L here getting poked yet a bit by the hands of Blue on that Bond Weaver here. It's just standard stuff. Global Marksman just wins early in that early 2v2. We need to see how the early converts that 2-3 item power spike against CC. But once CC scales to 4 to 5 items, that's where the Global Marksman outscales the Parasola.
That's gonna be a completely different game, but to make it to 4 or 5 items, we're gonna have to push it all the way to 12-13 minutes. Can we already push it there? We know that the Pei has the momentum at the beginning of the game. We are 30 seconds away from those first objectives battles. And I know that TNX and Facer right now, they're just counting gold, counting coins to see if they can actually get in there.
We need to see who slips up first, who falls in terms of that focus here, but we see a bit of a camp here. Flash engage doesn't catch on towards Zan. Zan dodges the multiple knockups here, has the parasol to get himself to safety, but he's so low, he cannot sniff this EXP. But panning towards mid lane here, 4v1 against TNX. TNX has to clear the waves, has already successfully been doing so. The refreshes are coming in, forcing both teams to take the handshake.
Look at that, it's just a matter of the tempo. Look at this, we have a 3v1 over there in the bottom lane, and then we come into the mid lane just to see a 1v4. It is just counting down to the movements, to how they're gonna give the keys, because we are making it in here. The turrets are going to fall over there for the farm lane in terms of KAGENDRA, and that is bad news for them.
Yeah, a bit of an extension coming in from Top Z here. Solé playing the Baichi to a masterclass, just out tanking the Spark base coming in from Dominator Esports with the 4v5 on towards the map. This should be a free Tyrant coming in for KAGENDRA, and yet another kill thanks to the fact that Senko pulled Gerald into the welcoming hands of Solé's Baichi.
KAGENDRA right now with that solo spicy pick completely has Dominator with no answer to this. They do not know exactly how to face this Baichi, and that Baichi right now, due to its mechanics, it's just putting Dominator in a little bit of a corner.
And this is in towards KAGENDRA's power spike right now. Arlie is out of the lane jail. Feishi gets to have so much farm on towards the map. It's really down to Solé and Senko to continuously push on towards the pedal here. Mid lane here, Solé forces to pop the ultimate to escape towards safety. But look at the pull! Once again, on towards Gerald. Punishing for that over-eagerness. Top Z, no flash on cooldown. Gets taken down as well. Feishi checks into TNX. But look at the pull once again. Almost getting hit, but gets pummeled by 3 members here as it is an odd number fight coming in for KAGENDRA.
It is a 2-1 trade for KAGENDRA. It's going to be good for them, but right now as they're trying to push away, the fight starts back one more time in the river.
Zan, his taunt catches on towards CC. CC overextends. Zan, after taking down that tier 2 in towards the bottom lane, gets that rotation, gets the flank, and that's 2 quick kills in towards the pockets of KAGENDRA. Jungle is wide open for the buffet.
KAGENDRA is right now controlling the game. They are on the driver's seat. They've got control of the waves and they've got control of the fights. You can see it's not looking really good for Dominator Esports. Hey, right now, and all KAGENDRA on their power spike.
That's a worrying factor coming in from DMT. It sort of looked like the game 1 situation where Dominator kept pressing KAGENDRA in that mid game, which allowed KAGENDRA almost no room to breathe for that late game. And right now, KAGENDRA is doing the exact same thing against Dominator in this game too.
Yes. So you see, like, at the end of the day, it's just gonna be coming down to the teams and being able to understand the tempos. Look at TNX in there, just trying to come in, trying to find in Zan. Zan is not gonna allow him, and he's gonna be able to put some pressure over there on the farm lane, on the clash lane, sorry.
Yep, right now is down to the tempo of the strong power spike. Feishi and Zan, definitely the 2 members that Dominator needs to look out for. They are super well farmed up, and if they're on those side lanes, you better bring more people to actually capitalize on their mistakes, because that may be a window for DMT to come back in towards this game too.
So you see, like, right now, the decisions that come in from KAGENDRA, they understand that they've already got an advantage. They do not need to go and try to make the fights without the objectives. They come in, they take the Overlord, and right now when they have the fight, they might be able to take that as well.
Flash engage coming in from Solé, catches on towards TNX though. TNX already escaping with those refreshes here. Top Z, no flash. Where is the follow-up? There will be no follow-up. That does make sure that it's a handshake between these 2 teams. But DMT, they get a good rotation, forcing the recuperation coming in from the side of KAGENDRA on that mid lane, so they get a free mid tower.
Free mid tower they get in here, then putting so much pressure. TNX has not been able to control his blue buff no more, and his blue, the mana is such an important element for that Luna. Without that blue buff right now, that TNX Luna is gonna be unable to fly around.
It's like Marco Polo without a Crimson Golem. It's like Marksman without a Crimson Golem. Luna without a Azure Golem. You can't make those refreshes as smooth as before.
that's the thing, right? Like if you want to play the Luna, there's so many different elements that they need to align for you to have a real domination, for you to have a real advantage. There's so many different elements that they need to be there. And not being able to control your own Azure Golem, it's going to be really bad for Dominator. Look at this, KAGENDRA one more time, understanding the game. It's a gold game. They take the last one of these Tyrants.
Yeah, the regular Tyrant will despawn at the 9-minute 30 seconds mark, so getting that last one before the Shadow objectives will definitely put you at ease. But talk to me about this Baichi coming in from Solé. He's everywhere from minute 1 until now. He's been all over the place getting those big setups.
And the important thing about that, like, it's just gonna be Baichi as he grows old, stronger and stronger. Baichi is one of those very late game heroes, right? The more items that he's going to have, the bigger a tank that he's going to be, the more HP that he's gonna have, and the easier that it's gonna be for him to sustain into the late fights.
Look at it once again, the engaged anyways coming in onto a Solé, but not enough players are around that ultimate weapon here. So a 1-for-1 exchange between L and also Solé here. But look at the counter initiation here. Hellfrost are going blinking low. That's the 4-ball marksman late game potential here. But with the superior positioning coming in from KAGENDRA, it seems like they can get access towards this Crimson Golem and potentially that Shadow Tyrant.
Solid comes in, he jumps in with his ulti, he gets onto 3, but there's no follow-up in there. There's no follow-up damage, and that was a very big problem and mistake. Right now, as they want to come in for this Dark Tyrant, we can see that Dominator is not gonna let it go for free.
Yeah, that's an encounter cast just on towards full 4 members here. That's a lot of poke damage here. So Hellforce are a bit of a worry coming in from DNT. Who does this Tyrant go towards here? It goes towards the TNX! He lands the steal, but has no way of escaping here. He has already burned the new moon. The fight is all over the place right now. 2 men down already for the side of Dominator. Jero answers one on towards Solé here. Senko gets the pull, but doesn't answer anything for the side of DMT.
DMT comes in, they take the Dark Tyrant, but to what cost? It's gonna be a 2-1 trade for them. They lose Top Z and they lost TNX as well. That is not a good trade in my opinion, because at the end of the day right now, KAGENDRA is gonna have a green light to come in and take this Overlord.
Jero off the ultimate. Forces the positioning coming in from Facial. Facial jumps in with the Tigress here. Gets the first steal on towards Joe here. Joe overstayed his welcome here, and L is the second one to fall. Double kill going in the hands of Zon as Facial still wants to play for aggressive approach here. 3v5 once again. How do they play this? I don't think they actually can even face check this.
They have no priority over here towards the Overlord. If you know that you cannot contest it, why Gerald and L are jumping in to try to fight that? They were unable to stop the Overlord. They did not win any time, and at the end of the day, they end up just going back to the fountain because they lose their lives.
I was gonna say that DMT, after stealing the Shadow Tyrant, they were looking really good because they are looking to outscale KAGENDRA's comp. But after that play at the Shadow Overlord right now, it's accelerating KAGENDRA's push for that high ground.
Right now, Baichi already frigid charged, and it's gonna have a lot of magic resistance. That Luna has nothing to do against the tank coming in from KAGENDRA.
Right now, we're just waiting for the waves to crash in coming in from the side of KAGENDRA. If Dominator can pull this game into a 14 to 16 minute mark, then we will see the late game Floorball Marksman and Xiao Qiao come into action here. They have solid front lines, beautiful Top Z and L, but if they cannot hold their horses in this high ground push, then we won't see the late game.
We can see that right now the ultimates are available for KAGENDRA, as we can see the bangers coming in. They're going to crash over here at the bottom lane.
Bottom lane right now.
Pressure against the high ground turret right now. It's going to be easy to claim that dragon. There's a second banger coming in. It's not going to be too much pressure. There's nothing for KAGENDRA here. They need to push back.
It's a very good defense coming in from Dominator Esports, because that's the difficulty of KAGENDRA's draft. If this game goes later on, where we have 4 to 5 items, that's not going to be easy for KAGENDRA to actually end the game. But late flash coming in onto a CC. No follow-up, but 3-man knockup coming in from L, as members of KAGENDRA are slowly falling one by one. That was beautiful by L.
One more time, Baiti comes in, gets the stun onto 3, and there's no follow-up damage. Gotta be careful, KAGENDRA, because right now you have the upper hand. You cannot keep missing these dunks.
Well, oh, they didn't even get the high ground and towards the top side. That's just bad news for KAGENDRA.
It is not looking good. They need to really finalize this game. They need to really just start pulling up things together, talk to each other, calm down and breathe. Because if they keep making these mistakes, look at this. Right now it's going to be Dominator, the ones that are going to have the priority over this Dark Tyrant.
It's just looking so dire for the side of KAGENDRA. They were controlling the game so well for the first 8 minutes until they lost that Shadow Tyrant steal to TNX. And they didn't get any sort of value with the Shadow Overlord push, which led to that team fight.
Yes.
And right now, DMT, in terms of scaling, Xiao Qiao, CC on the full-born marksman steady will is way ahead of Zan and also FaZe. Check out mid lane though, as we see Top Z getting the engage on forward Zan, forcing the retreat. But look at the top side, minions piling through, getting that tier 3 is a freebie.
It's just looking crazy. It is just looking insane. Right now, KAGENDRA trying to just clean things around, but Dominator having control of the map. Sadly for them, they lose that high ground turret, and that's gonna bring them super minions. One more question and one more ball of stress for them to try to fix.
When we look at this top side tier 3, we think towards TNX history, he had lost a game to the Dominator, which is the team he was in last time because of that. And right now, we see a bit of a poke and prod towards the top side here, forces up some flash. Solid flashes in, looks for a target, but there's no follow-up, there's no teammates here. He's left there to dry. Blue is down, and Zon, where are you going? That personal dance towards the wall. That is just 3 members, and with waves marching through top side, this might just spell the end of KAGENDRA in this game too.
Sagi, look at that. The minions are coming in. The high ground is going to fall. It's going to be a 5 against 2. Can KAGENDRA just be able to keep their dream going on a little bit longer?
There's no wave clear here, Isaac.
No.
First wave through. Okay, wave is secured. But FaZe does fall. Nice pull on towards TNX. TNX has to commit the new move. 5 seconds on towards the
have to push.
Dominator. They're going ham. They want to go for the end. Can they do it? They got it. That disadvantage in game 2. They force the comeback and they take game 2. 2-0 for Dominator Esports.
Dominator Esports coming in and telling us that it is not done until they say it's done. Lovely performance by them. They came in, they were losing the whole game. 80% of the game, they were down by a lot. KAGENDRA starts missing the dunks, start losing, giving gold away, and Dominator Esports says, if you're gonna give me a prize, wrap it up, give it to me, and I'm gonna be taking it extremely gladly.
That is why composure is really important. The first time that we see KAGENDRA showed some signs of flaws in their gameplay was when they had so much lead, but they still gave up their tier 1 tower, the mid lane, the most important one. That is unexcusable. And the next one is when they did the Shadow Tyrant dance. They got stolen by TNX. That's how the game extended for the side of Dominator Esports. If that didn't get stolen, it's gonna be simple. KAGENDRA's gonna get that Shadow objective, pushes the first wave, pushes the first 90 seconds, and then revisit back to the Shadow Overlord, and it is done and dusted for Dominator. But due to the fact that that specific scenario, that list of event actually ticked off for the side of Dominator Esports, they just set themselves for a beautiful comeback.
I loved this game a lot. It was a lot better than game 1. It shows us that KAGENDRA has something up their sleeves, like it's actually that they can actually come and fight. The problem in here is that you cannot have such a big advantage and not finish the game. It's just that simple. I want to understand that there's a little bit of mistakes and the miscommunication, but you come in during your power spike and allowing the Flowborn marksman to get online at the end. I don't think that it was for KAGENDRA to lose this match.
That's the problem, right? Because we saw the same draft being executed. I mean, not the same exact heroes, but it's the style of draft. In game 1, the way that Dominator played was like, hey, we will pick this super aggressive early game draft, and we will try to make sure that all our fights, all our rotations are in sync to chunk out the enemy to make sure that there's no comeback. But in game 2, KAGENDRA tried to repeat the same success with the same style. Yes, the first 8 minutes, beautiful stuff by KAGENDRA. But when you falter in the early game, the beautiful stuff, when you falter in the late game with such a strong early to mid game draft that falls off in the late game, that's how you know that you have already messed up and the enemy flowball marksman and Xiao Qiao is already online.
Look at that, look at the flowborn marksman over there, 5-1 and 4. Nothing that CC could have done at the beginning of the game. It was not going really well for him, but as time passes, he got bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't want to sound like a broken record because I know that I've mentioned this multiple times, but it cannot be possible that Solid is having such a great performance on the Bitesy. The Bitesy is just having such a great, amazing that. Look at the damage taken in there.
I gotta cut you off there, Isaac. I gotta cut you off, Isaac.
Go ahead, Sagi. Go, go, go.
Look at CC's damage! 218,000 on a flowball marksman.
Nah.
Wow.
Nah.
That's,
it is not. It is not working, man. Look at that. Beautiful digits from CC.
That's Zan and Facia's damage combined, and it's still not enough to beat a flowball marksman damage. That's how strong flowball marksman is as a late game farm lane in this patch right now. It's really good if you're playing towards the 14 to 16 minute mark. That's why we were discussing back in the pick and bans. If DMT skills, they win. If DMT doesn't skill, they lose. But DMT makes such a marvelous comeback that he showed that they have composure, that they didn't know. I mean, not didn't know. They didn't acknowledge that, hey, we're losing, chill. No, they were saying like, okay, everything is in control. Just make sure that CC is controlling the resources well. Make sure that CC gets the final few items. That's where immediately Solid, even though he dunks on towards CC, it's not enough.
Up until the 12th minute of the game, KAGENDRA had a 7,000 gold advantage. And it was right over there where CC just started just piling up gold, piling up items, turn it into this into his spike, and then just having the digits that he had. How much was that at the end? 220,000 damage?
Yes, sir. Oh, it was.
That is insane. That is crazy.
So if we were to look at TNX, sorry, not TNX, Facia's damage plus Zan's early damage, if they plus together, it's about 211,000, give or take. But the single man, CC, out-damaged both carries coming in from KAGENDRA. That's how you know how crazy that is coming in from a farming player.
Love this second match. If the whole KIS4 is going to be the same as these two games that we just watched, this is going to be such a beautiful 10 days of competition. I'm telling you. Ups and downs, upsets, big fights, tactical movements, good strategy. It is gonna be a lovely tournament. Look at it here, like when you analyze Gerald and Senku. Senku tried to use that as just having more initiation, having a little bit more control, but I don't think that the coordination of the whole chain of control was on point for KAGENDRA. And probably Senku is going to have to talk to the boys to get them in the right place, to get them completely online.
That's the painful part, right? When you are down 0-2, the mental pressure is really prominent already on towards your shoulders and your mind. So you need someone like a big brother of the team, someone like Senko, someone like Muffers in the team to calm the nerves of KAGENDRA's players here. Because right now, do or die. Okay, you don't really lose out the entire tournament if you lose out that single BO5, let alone that this KIS4, no one gets eliminated in the group stage.
Yes, no one gets eliminated, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be picked by someone. You want to be the one making the calls. You want to be the one just picking on your opponent. So at the end of the day, like, you want to really win this first match. I'm talking about this match number 1, this match number 2. It is going to be our MVP from Dominator.
Wow.
It's going to be CC on the Flowborn Marksman, Steady Will.
I think steady will is a very good word to describe Dominator Esports. Their will was unshaken throughout the entirety of the game. It was steady, composed performance coming in from DMT to slowly but surely claw their way back. Because if we were to give props towards KAGENDRA, first 8 minutes, beautiful stuff from Solly and also Senko in getting those early leads. That's what you see right now on the replay. 1-5, 2-3,000 goal lead already for KAGENDRA, but still, sadly to say, they fumbled the bag.
They did, man. Like it's just difficult to digest just the whole concept of having such a big advantage and not being able to just win the game at the end. It's very
This was a
difficult.
key
This one right over
turning
here.
point.
Yeah.
Key turning point.
KNX just coming in and just taking that Dark Current. They do lose the fight at the end, but just negating KAGENDRA of that Dark Tyrant was actually very critical for all.
Look at that knockup coming in from L, the 3-man ultimate coming in from the Reef-Hub Datu. And as of this point, even though that Solid got in towards the backline, check out the Flowborn Marksman damage here. That Arrow Storm just piercing through the backline coming in from KAGENDRA.
It was over there, like you can see that in that moment, KAGENDRA did not have a one person that they wanted just to completely just focus their damage on. They were just thinking about just running away. It was just every man for on their own.
You can see the sign of relief and the excitement coming in from the coaching staff. Like, that was a crazy game, by the way. Everybody thought like, oh, it's a repeat of Game 1 script. Game 1 was fast, so Game 2 is the same thing for KAGENDRA.